Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and get rid of your despondent looks because we are back for a long-awaited episode 6 of ARMANOgeddon. I apologize. This has been the biggest gap between our episodes. I was unable to produce one this weekend because duty called. Because I had diarrhea. I had long streams, urine-like streams of diarrhea, which affected me, and that's why I wasn't able to produce an episode. But we're back now, and we thank everyone for our returning listeners, our returning viewers, if you have us on in the car, or if you're watching in bed, wherever you may be. Thank you for joining for the 6th installment of ARMANOgeddon, the second installment with a video camera. Maybe by next time we'll have a microphone, and I hope the audio is well. Now, so duty did call this weekend, like I said, a thunderous vein of diarrhea, and that was brought on by chili cheese dogs. Now, chili cheese dogs are a delicious food. We all know that. This isn't groundbreaking news. But what I want to know, and who I want to speak to, is the inventor of the chili cheese dog. And I want to ask him one simple question. And if that was his plan in producing a delicious meal to have an offshoot and the quickest way to shit your pants as quick as possible? Because if so, what a chef and what a scientist. He exceeded on all fronts. Now, this is not the first time I've suffered the long-standing effects of chili cheese dogs rumbling through my stomach. One time I was having chili cheese dogs and I was having sex with a girl. And I was hitting her with that sweet missionary. But all of a sudden I felt a rumble in the stomach, a gurgling of sorts, a bum-ba-da, 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 gurgling, bubbling. And then finally there was a Then we looked at each other confusedly, because I think she thought it was her own queef. But turns out it was my fart. Anyways, the news just came out with some big stuff happening in world news. Let's pay attention to that. World news says that the word laundromat has the letter O in it, and nobody's too pleased about it. What kind of fucking horseshit is that? Now, speaking of words, we're going to make a fast and hard pause segue into our word of the day. Word of the day, word of the week. Once more, we're using our Merriam-Webster dictionary.com. You can follow along. Today is January 16th of the new year. Hopefully, your New Year's resolutions are still going strong. I read that most people break their New Year's resolution by day 9. So if you're ahead of that, good for you. But on a serious note, let's move into our word of the day. And the word of the day is going to be parlay. Now, Merriam-Webster offers the dictionary definition as to parlay something is to use or develop it in order to get something else of greater value. Parlay is often used with the word into. Now it provides a supplemental sentence as well, and that is, he hoped to parlay his basketball skills into a college scholarship. So as you can see, parlay, you want to use what you have and hopefully increase value with it by the acquisition of new things. You might be hearing about the word parlay this time of year, as it is, I believe, the divisional round this week of the NFL playoffs, where people might be placing their parlay-style bets. Not much of a betting man, but DraftKings, I am looking for sponsorship for this episode, so I'm always interested. Please let me know. I don't worry about ethics. I'll if you want me to tell people to bet their life savings or take out like a third mortgage on their house or something, I'll do that. So just let me know if you're looking for sponsorships. DraftKings, that is. I had DraftKings stock a little while ago, about 4 or 5 years, recommended to me, and it failed. In the short term, there was about a year or so. Not much of an investor. That's why I'm here having a free podcast. And I'm donning my Long Island's famous Billy Joel. Got my Billy Joel shirt on, had some of him on this morning. Good way to start the day. Nice, light music to have in the morning. Similarly to all my Long Island listeners, I believe there's a radio station that does Breakfast with the Beatles. 2 artists that work particularly well in the morning and the daytime, easy on the ears, but usually upbeat to start the day right. All right, we're gonna move into the academic lane here for the closing, well, not closing, Well, for the 3/4 of the way through of this podcast, we're going to move into the academic lane. We're going to talk about books we're reading. I mentioned last podcast that I read some Russian literature, and here it is, recommended by a friend, Anton Chekhov, Little Apples, collection of short stories, really dark, very satirical at times as well, kind of a comedy writer. Hey, little inspiration there. So I would recommend that for a quick read. Ran through it in about 2-3 days, and then reading has slowed, but I'm reading this book currently, hoping to finish it now. If it continues as it has been, if the quality stays the same for the last 60-70 pages, it'll be one of the greatest books I've ever read. An American classic, unknown to me, recommended to me. Patricia Highsmith, the talented Mr. Ripley, follows a sociopathic man. A little inspiration there, a little symbol. Anyways, so that's going to be that. Now, again, it is the new year, and most people have broken their resolutions. We're about a little over 2 weeks into the new year, so comment, see how your new year is going. But this is going to be a reminder to get moving. I highly recommend getting outside, no matter where you are, or what climate it is. Do some jumping jacks, a lost art form. You never see anybody in a gym doing jumping jacks. I feel like jumping jacks, the cutoff for jumping jacks, is probably around 13 years old. That's probably the last time you can publicly be seen doing jumping jacks. Yeah, and I'd like to hear any rebuttal arguments to that, because it's a lost art form, so bring the jumping jack back. That was a rhyme right there. So do some jumping jacks. Maybe I'll do some after this, or walk around the block. And that is going to be wrapping up, I think, ARMANOgeddon episode 6. I look forward to seeing you guys in a timely fashion, and I promise this time around. Hopefully, I think I might have to rush an episode for this weekend, but we'll be back with some more word of the day and some more unmanicured bits that we're trying out here on the podcast. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good night.